Hello friends. So what is punctuation? Full stop, comma, colon, hyphen, dash. Look at the difference between hyphen and dash, by the way. The difference is that of length. So punctuation is a set of conventions that help us comprehend English with ease. So we read and write better when we use appropriate punctuation. Now remember, punctuations may not matter to many of you as much as some other items of grammar. For example, subject verb agreement or prepositions or verbs or tenses. Many students tend to ignore punctuation. Remember, for English for competitive exams, it is very important to use a proper style of punctuation. Punctuations or an inappropriate use of punctuation may often alter the meaning of a sentence or may take away the elegance of a sentence. So, remember that punctuation has its own importance, has its own value in the English language. So, in today's class we are going to look at the punctuation marks and their functions and the different ways in which we can use punctuations to achieve the desired effect in our writing. We often feel that while speaking we do not use punctuation, but pauses in certain cases they denote that we are using punctuations indeed. So, I finished a sentence right now and I am continuing a sentence right now. So, that means I am using a comma in my speech. Okay, it may not be visible, but when I end a sentence I am using or I am suggesting a full stop. Okay, this is my full stop. So, this is how important a punctuation mark is. It is very important. It is very relevant to use punctuation marks appropriately. Now, as you know, full stop, Americans call it a period. Most of us call it a full stop. It marks the end of a sentence. It is also used after some abbreviations, and of course, those of you who are interested in mathematics, you also recognize the full stop as a decimal point. So, the importance of a full stop. I will be doing a lot of full stops with you very soon. I will be giving you or showing you lengthy passages. But next, after full stop, we have another important punctuation mark, that is a question mark. What is a question mark? This is a question mark and this is an exclamation. Now, when do we use a question mark? When a sentence is intended as a question. Have you ever been to Egypt? Are your exams still going on? This is a question. These are questions. So, we use a question mark. Tag question. You did go to Egypt last year, didn't you? A question mark. Sometimes we use a question mark even in brackets after a word or phrase to make it seem questionable or doubtful. This is what a higher order writer would do. For example, in the middle of a sentence, you may come across this kind of a in brackets. So, for example, Alexander the Great, Alexander and his dates, let us say 323 to let us say 300, 332, 333 to 300 BC, but I am not sure. So, I am putting a question mark. Okay? So, this is how you use when I am not too sure of something. A good way to indicate that I am doubtful is to insert a question mark. Look at the example here. Look at the slide here, examples of question mark. Café Bonaparte is another Saint-Germain des Praux cafe. Are you sensing a theme here? It is like asking the readers that are you sensing a theme here? It's just yet another cafe on so and so street in Paris. But where are the best places in Paris for people watching? Look at the hyphen there, people watching. It's like a hobby in itself, people watching. Bird watching, people watching. So, where are the best places in Paris for people watching? So, these are the questions. Next, we move on to the exclamation mark. It indicates that a sentence is exclamatory, it is expressing a certain deep emotion. For example, I wish it were raining today, I am wishing it. It's a deeply felt emotion. Sometimes we also use the exclamation mark in a verbless sentence. A verbless sentence is a sentence without verb. You do not have to say it is dangerous. You just say danger. Okay? No verb, but indicates what you want. Beware. So, what are these? We are expressing in one word, emphasizing. So, the exclamation mark often emphasizes a need, a kind of need, a kind of emotion. Sometimes we use exclamation marks in brackets just the way we use a question mark to express surprise. So, when we use a question mark in bracket in the middle of a sentence, we are indicating or suggesting doubt. Exclamation mark is in bracket in the middle of a sentence suggests surprise, or sometimes we also indicate that how ridiculous the proposition is. Look at the slide here and examples. Few found the glory they were after, but most could not deny that they were on the adventure of their lifetime. Have fun. So, examples of exclamation. Very important punctuation mark, although not many of us are aware of its importance, a colon. A colon introduces a list. Okay. For example, the bookstore specializes in 3 subjects: colon, art, graphic design, vintage posters, okay, full stops, full stop. So, those are the kinds of, we are making a list. However, do not use a colon when the listed items are incorporated in the flow of the sentence. Look at the slide here. Look at the example here. Correct is the store is known for its collection of vintage posters, art and graphic design. Incorrect would be the store is known for colon vintage posters, art and graphic design. This is an inappropriate use of colon. So, always be very careful, like as you use any other part of speech or punctuation mark while using colon as well. Now, look at this slide here, example of a colon. The city is full of such cafes. If you would like to wander until you find a cafe to call your own, the things to look for are, and look at the colon here, a busy street, or at least one that appears busy with interesting life, a reasonably priced menu, look at the hyphen here, reasonably priced, an available chair. Okay, so, how things are listed here. Remember, a colon can often be used between independent clauses. You have done enough of independent clauses when the second explains or illustrates the first clause. Remember, the colon is used to separate 2 independent clauses when the second explains or illustrates the first clause. I repeat, in such usage, the colon functions in much the same way as a semicolon. We will be doing semicolon also soon, And as with the semicolon, do not capitalize the first word after the colon. Remember that, unless the word is ordinarily or generally capitalized. Look at these examples. I have very little time to learn the language. My new job starts in 5 weeks. What is the purpose here of a colon? Almost like replacing a coordinator like because. A college degree is still, this is the second one, worth something. A recent survey revealed that college graduates earned roughly 60% more than those with only a high school diploma. Third one, all three of their children are involved in the arts. Richard is a sculptor, Diane is a pianist, and Julie is a theatre director. Okay? So, listing is important. Remember, when two or more sentences follow a colon, capitalize the first word following the colon. I can give you an example like he made 3 points and then colon first. So, first you can capitalize the F. The institute was losing over £1 million each month. Second, the shares were lower than it had ever been. Third, no financial organization were willing to loan the institute any more money. Remember, the colon can be used to emphasize a phrase or single word at the end of a sentence. A dash can be used for the same purpose. Look at the examples here. After 3 weeks of deliberation, the jury finally reached a verdict, colon guilty. You see, it is for emphasis. 5 continents, 3 dozen countries, over 100 cities. This was the trip of a lifetime. So, emphasis. Sometimes colon is also used for a non-grammatical use. For example, when you want to suggest time. So, we can say 11:20 a.m. with a full stop, or we can also say 11:20 a.m. Remember, so this is a colon. So, we suggest we use a we are separating hours from minutes. We also use a colon to express a ratio 1:5, and very important, biblical references. Genesis chapter 1 and verse 31. So, it is used to separate chapter from verses with no space before or after the colon. Remember, the colon can also be used to separate the volume from page numbers of a cited work. Okay. So, for example, you put or you insert the name of a journal article and then you say 4 and you use the colon symbol 86 to 89. Now, this is your page number 86 to 89, okay, and 4 is your volume. You can write so this is one way of expressing or expressing your references. Look at the slide here. The late Professor Richard Atkinson, leading authority on Stonehenge, once replied to the question about the purpose of this monument. And look at the colon here. So, do not just assume that colon cannot be used for quotation marks. It can be used. It can also be replaced with a comma, but here it has been used effectively for citation. There is one short, simple and perfectly correct answer: we do not know and we shall probably never know. And look at the way full stop has been used at the end of a sentence. And also look at the second one, no website, address 99 Avenue des Champs-Élysées. So, what are we doing here? Giving the address. Colon is frequently used in business and personal correspondences like dear Mr. John and colon, CC to someone, attention and colon circular from, PS do not forget your passport, do not forget your ID card. Coming to comma, comma is the punctuation mark most likely to cause a lot of stress to many of us. This is largely the result of the many different ways the comma is used. Sometimes the comma indicates a pause that would occur if the sentence were spoken aloud. So, as I was telling you at the beginning of this class, even in speech there are invisible commas. When we pause at an appropriate moment, we use a comma. And remember, mechanical and stylistic uses of the comma that are simply conventional is the best thing to remember. We have to remember how we use comma in the most simple way and in the most regular way. The presence or absence of a comma, remember, can change the entire meaning of a sentence. Sometimes it can lead to extremely dramatic consequences. In extreme cases, an erroneous comma can make a sentence mean the exact opposite of what the writer intended. A careful writer is a careful user of commas. Remember, when you are expressing numbers, the best practice is to use a comma after the first digit of a 4-digit number. Exceptions may include years. So, 1982. So, we do not say 1 comma 982, it is straight 1980. So, those are exceptions. Page numbers. So, we do not say, suppose you are writing 1256 pages. So, we do not say 1 comma 2. So, in page numbers we do not use commas like that. Look at the examples here. We sold 2500 rare books last year, semicolon. The most expensive was sold for INR 200,000. So, look at the use of comma after 200. He lived at 42 Nehru Nagar until February 8. So, look at the comma there, 2008. And then Americans often use junior and in INC, and that is incorporated. So, trend is to omit the comma. Robert White Jr. is the father of Robert White III. Second example, he was formerly a senior vice president at Walmart INC. We do not say Walmart, comma INC. Look at the slide here, how we use comma in degrees and certifications. So, when a degree or certification is shown after a person's name, it should be set off with commas. The report was prepared by Christopher Smith, comma, PhD. John Jones, Esquire, has joined the board of directors. Tom Roberts Jr., comma, MD, FACS, those are his degrees, will be the keynote speaker at next year's conference. So, see the way, and if do not get bewildered by the lack of abbreviations in MD and FACS, these are degrees. You may not use full stops after MD or M and D, okay, but be consistent. So, do not say M dot D dot, but FACS in continuation. The key is to be consistent in your full stops when using abbreviations. We also use commas when directly addressing someone. The person's name or title should be set off with commas. For example, we could not have done it without you, comma, Lisa. So, comma, Lisa. So, we are addressing someone. We do not say we could not have done it without you, Lisa. We could not have done without you, comma, Lisa, or Lisa, comma, we could not have done it without you. Or another example I can give you, thank you, comma, Mr. President, comma, for your support. So, when we are directly addressing someone, or Jockey, comma, please stop by my office before you leave for the day. Commas are also used in dates and while expressing dates. When a date consists of the day of the month followed by the year, the day of the month should be followed by a comma. When the day of the week is provided before the month, the day of the week should be followed by a comma. Look at the examples here. The store closed its doors for good on Wednesday, comma, October 15, 1958. When the date appears in the middle of a sentence, commas should appear both before and after the year. Look at that. Her arrival on April 10, 1988, comma was considered a turning point for the company. Remember, when a date is used as an adjective, most authorities require a comma following the year. Look at the example here, how dates are used as adjectives. The October 12, 2014 meeting was cancelled due to a hurricane watch. So, October 12, 2014 is an adjective. Okay? But if you want to revise it, the meeting scheduled for October 12, 2014 was cancelled due to heavy rains. The approach of winter along with the dwindling food and medical supplies spelled the end for German troops there, and the last of them surrendered on January 31, 1943, or you can also say January 31 or 31st, 1943, the day when the last of them surrendered. It can be used as an adjective, but either way, look at the way dates are expressed with a comma. Remember, no comma is used between the month and the year when they are the only two elements in the date. Okay. So, August 2012. So, you do not say August comma 2012. When an adjective or adverb is repeated for emphasis, a comma is required. This is a very, very scary book. Stephen King's It is a very, very scary book. Very comma, very scary book. Comma is also used for interrupting. When a non-essential word or phrase occurs in the middle of a sentence, it should be set off with commas. Look at this slide here. Your work has been frankly below par. Now, even if you delete frankly, it is non-essential, right? It would not change the meaning of the sentence. So, your work has been below par. Frankly is just for emphasis, it is set off with a pair of commas. The hotel, the one we saw on the internet, was very shabby. Look at the way it is separate. The hotel was very shabby and the related information not really essential. A compound sentence contains two or more independent clauses linked by a coordinating conjunction, remember. So, we are talking about commas in compound sentence. I repeat, a compound sentence contains two or more independent clauses linked by a coordinating conjunction. Independent clauses are those that can stand alone as complete sentences. The most common coordinating conjunctions are and, but and or. We have done this in detail earlier. In certain cases, nor, yet, so and for act as coordinating conjunctions. So, the rule is use a comma before a coordinating conjunction that joins two independent clauses. It is also important to remember the rule of geographic references. Commas should be used to separate geographic elements, as in the examples that I will give you. The final geographic element should also be followed by a comma when it appears in the middle of a sentence. Look at this slide. The store was shut down in December 1991. This is correct. The store was shut down in December, 1991. Remember, we do not use a comma when only two elements of a date are mentioned. The British style, sometimes which is also used by American writers, reverses the month and date and eliminates the need for a comma. For example, her arrival on 10th April 1988, this is very British usage. Okay, 1988 eliminates commas. Her arrival on 10th April 1988 was considered a turning point for the company. We were talking about the geography, the geographic locations, and look at the slide here, how we use commas. The mayor of New York was the first guest to arrive, semicolon. The mayor of Athens, comma, Georgia was the last to arrive. Look at the slide, please. His family moved from Chennai, comma, India to Portsmouth, New Hampshire when he was 10. Look at the use of commas. The company is headquartered in Sydney, comma, New South Wales, comma, Australia, city, state and the country, all separated by commas. Look at this slide now, and what I want you to do is to read it properly and appreciate how punctuation is used very adroitly throughout. A century has sailed by since the luxury steamship RMS Titanic met its catastrophic end in the North Atlantic, plunging 2 miles to the ocean floor after sideswiping an iceberg during its maiden voyage. Full stop. Rather than the intended port of New York, comma, a deep sea, look at the hyphen here, Grave became the pride of the White Star Line's final destination in the early hours of April 15, 1912, full stop. End of a sentence. Okay? More than 1500 people, look at the use of comma. People lost their lives in the disaster. Always use capitalization when you start a new sentence. So, IN in, so I capital, in the decades since her demise, comma, remember that ships are used in feminine form, her demise. Titanic has inspired countless books and several notable films while continuing to make headlines, comma, particularly since the 1985 discovery of her resting place off the coast of Newfoundland. Meanwhile, comma, her story has entered the public consciousness as a powerful cautionary tale about the perils of human hubris, full stop. Look at the use of commas, hyphens and full stops and capitalizations. RMS Titanic, Port of New York, White Star Lines, Newfoundland, all these are capitals or capitalization. Look at this slide. Here is an exercise for you. Insert commas wherever you think appropriate. By the 5th day of its journey, Titanic was making swift progress across the Atlantic. Although Captain Edward Smith had plotted a new course upon hearing earlier reports of ice from other liners, there were many more communications that day of ice in Titanic's path. On the night of Sunday, 14 April 1912, the sea was flat calm, the sky clear and moonless, and the temperature was dropping towards freezing. In such conditions, sea ice is very hard to spot. At 11:40 p.m., the lookout sounded the alarm and telephoned the bridge saying iceberg right ahead. The warning came too late to avoid the iceberg, and Titanic struck it less than 40 seconds later, tearing a series of holes along the side of the hull. Upon inspecting the damage, Titanic's chief naval architect Thomas Andrews said to Captain Smith that the ship would certainly sink. 6 of the watertight compartments at the front of the ship's hull were breached, 5 of them flooding within the hour. Titanic was designed to stay afloat with only 4 compartments. Now, look at the answer here, solution. By the 5th day of its journey, Titanic was making swift progress across the Atlantic. Although Captain Edward Smith had plotted a new course upon hearing earlier reports of ice from other liners, there were many more communications that day of ice in Titanic's path. On the night of Sunday, 14 April 1912, the sea was flat calm, the sky clear and moonless, and the temperature was dropping towards freezing. In such conditions, sea ice is very hard to spot. At 11:40 p.m., the lookout sounded the alarm and telephoned the bridge saying iceberg right ahead. The warning came too late to avoid the iceberg, and Titanic struck it less than 40 seconds later, tearing a series of holes along the side of the hull. Upon inspecting the damage, Titanic's chief naval architect Thomas Andrews said to Captain Smith that the ship would certainly sink. 6 of the watertight compartments at the front of the ship's hull were breached, 5 of them flooding within the hour. Titanic was designed to stay afloat with only 4 compartments flooded. I will take you to another item of punctuation marks, that is a hyphen. Look at this slide. Over the course of its sprawling 1500 pages, the group of children at the book center come of age by uniting to defeat it, but evolve into messed up adults. Now, messed up adult with a hyphen, still haunted decades later by their memories. It does not conform to typical genre norms, semicolon, look at the way it has been used. Its horrors are derived from Lovecraftian weird fiction converging with the building terror of real life child abductions and scary clown hoaxes that were rampant in the early 80s when it was being written. King was not writing a genre novel following the typical build, grab, release plot beats that work well in horror movie trailers. Rather, he was creating a rich universe with a large cast of characters and a central evil at its core. This is how we use a hyphen. Look at the specific terms: messed up adults, real life child, typical build, grab, release. Yeah, so this is the way you use hyphens in compound words. So, what is a hyphen? Hyphen is the formation of certain compound words or compound terms. Compound terms are those that consist of more than one word, but represent a single item or idea. They come in a variety of styles. So, open compounds or with space are written as separate words. Look at this slide, open compound words. Printing press, car wash, chief of staff, no use for hyphen. Look at this slide. Hyphenated compounds use hyphens between the words. Look at the way it has been done here. Eye opener, check in, free for all. And look at this slide. Closed compounds are written as a single word. So, lifestyle, we do not say life hyphen style, bookstore, not book hyphen store, whodunit, not with a hyphen. Compound nouns are the easiest to deal with. Okay? Remember that most of them can be looked up in a good dictionary if you have, and I am sure by now most of you are using dictionaries very proactively. Remember that many compound nouns start out spaced or hyphenated before becoming solid, and sometimes dictionaries may not have it that way. We also have something like compound verbs. For example, consider something like waterproof. So, you waterproof your ceiling, that is a verb. You highlight a sentence, so that is a verb. You rubber stamp a document, that is a verb. Okay. Also look at this slide and see how compounds or how hyphens are used. Monday to Saturday, 20th to 24th, and when you denote pages. So, days, months, dates and pages, how hyphens are used. Look at this slide now, example of a dash. From hyphen we move on to dash. King's It is all about slow dread. Now, it is not a hyphen, it is a dash. Dash is a lengthy form of a hyphen, and it separates not two words, but phrases and clauses. specifically the slow lingering nightmares that frighten children. Walk in the footsteps of your Neolithic ancestors at Stonehenge dash, one of the wonders of the world and the best known. Now, best known is hyphen. So, look at the differences, dash and hyphen both in one sentence. Prehistoric monument in Europe. While many modern scholars now agree that Stonehenge was once a burial ground, they have yet to determine what other purposes it served and how a civilization without modern technology dash or even the wheel dash produced the mighty monument. Look at the way dash is used, and look at this slide, again example of dashes. Archaeologists believe England's most iconic prehistoric ruin was built. England's most, please put that apostrophe, England's most iconic prehistoric ruin was built in several stages, with the earliest constructed 5,000 or more years ago. First Neolithic Britons used primitive tools dash, possibly made from deer antlers, dash to dig a massive circular ditch and bank or henge or on Salisbury Plain. Deep pits dating back to that era and located within the circle dash known as Aubrey holes after John Aubrey, the 17th century antiquarian who discovered them, may have once held a ring of timber posts according to some scholars. So, dash is like a long hyphen. It indicates a sharp break in the flow of thoughts in a sentence. It is used in pairs to enclose a section of a sentence in a similar way to commas or brackets. I am taking you back to the slide. Let us look at the slide again, and break in thoughts, and also you like a pair of commas. First, comma, Neolithic Britons use primitive tools, you replace it with comma, but look, remember you have already used one comma, right? First, you are listing now first and second and next. So, it is better that you use a variety of punctuation marks. So, dash is used in place of comma with a certain specific intention. We do not want to repeat too many commas in a single sentence. Next sentence, see, look at it. Deep pits dating back to that era and located within the circle, comma, known as Aubrey circles after John Aubrey, comma, the 17th century antiquarians who discovered them, dash. Now, see, comma, known as Aubrey holes after John Aubrey, comma, the 17th century antiquarian who discovered them, comma. So, too many commas, lack of variety, but use comma and a dash and you have variety. So, that is the purpose of a dash. Look at this sentence, and again example of dash. Any number of historic moments in the civil, and look at this, civil rights with a hyphen, struggle. So, it is a compound noun, remember. Struggle have been used to identify Martin Luther King, comma, Jr., abbreviation. So, full stop, dash, prime mover of the Montgomery bus boycott, comma, keynote speaker at the March on Washington, comma, youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate. King was born Michael Luther King in Atlanta on Jan 15th, comma, 1920, January 15, comma, 1929, dash. One of the three children of Martin Luther King Sr., pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church, and Alberta King, a former school teacher. And then in bracket, additional information. He was renamed Martin when he was about 6 years old. And let us look at this sentence, this slide also as an example of dash. The barrows and around Stonehenge are not rare for their individual structure or contents, but they certainly are for their unique group dense distribution. Numbering some 460, there are 6 types, and now this is not a hyphen but a dash. I did not give it perhaps adequate length, but it is a dash. And what are we doing here? Giving a list almost: bell, bowl, dish, long, pond and saucer. All right, now here I want you to look at this particular slide. This is an exercise for you. Insert full stops wherever applicable. I will read it out for you. I am asking you only to do full stops, okay? Immediately upon returning from his famed Egyptian military campaign in October 1799, Napoleon Bonaparte began scheming to overthrow the 5-member Directory Pay attention to the hyphenated 5-member directory that ruled France with the support of several high-level co-conspirators. Look at the hyphens. Including 2 of the 5 directors, Napoleon arranged for a special legislative session to take place outside Paris on November 10. Using a combination of propaganda, bribery and intimidation, he hoped to cajole the legislature into putting him in charge. The lower house instead bombarded him with abuse, chanting "down with the dictator" and chasing him from the chamber, but he managed to prevail anyway by convincing troops to clear the area, and then in an attempt to preserve the veneer of constitutionality, convening a small hand-picked group of legislatures to abolish the directory and appoint him to a 3-member, again hyphen, consulate. Quickly becoming first consul, Napoleon completed his consolidation of power in 1804 when he crowned himself emperor. So, your exercise is to insert full stops, and here is your answer. Immediately upon returning from his famed Egyptian military campaign in October 1799, Napoleon Bonaparte began scheming to overthrow the 5-member directory that ruled France, full stop. With the support of several high-level co-conspirators, including the 2 of the 5 directors, Napoleon arranged for a special legislative session to take place outside Paris on November 10, full stop. Using a combination of propaganda, bribery and intimidation, he hoped to cajole the legislature into putting him in charge, full stop. The lower house instead bombarded him with abuse, chanting "down with the dictator" and chasing him from the chamber, full stop. But he managed to prevail anyway by convincing troops to clear the area, and then in an attempt to preserve the veneer of constitutionality, convening a small hand-picked group of legislators to abolish the directory and appoint him to a 3-member consulate. Quickly becoming first consul, Napoleon completed his consolidation of power in 1804 when he crowned himself emperor. Let us move on to do abbreviations now and how stops are used in abbreviations. Now, the contemporary style is to use full stops with most lower cases and mixed cases abbreviations. Example, AM, PM, etc., volume in INC, junior, Mrs., okay, and to omit periods, or that is a full stop, with most uppercase abbreviations, FBI, KGB, NATO, NATO, ATM. You will hardly ever find A full stop, T full stop, M. Okay. So, that is the way abbreviations are used, most often with lower cases and mixed cases abbreviations, where both upper and lower cases are used. So, PhD. Note that many scientific and technical abbreviations are formed without full stops, even when they are lower case or mixed case. For example, kilohertz, so KHZ, RPM, that is revolutions per minute, kg, kilogram. Okay? We do not use full stops. And remember, a few uppercase abbreviations including academic degrees retain full stop. For example, even in the case of countries, US, so United States, JD like Juris Doctor, MA, Master of Arts. Okay, so that is the way we use PhD, PH and full stop and D. Okay. Remember, consistency is vital. You cannot say R dot D, okay, or J dot D in one place and MD in another. If you are deciding to do away with abbreviations, then be consistent. Okay, so with on that note, I would like to finish today's class. We will continue tomorrow with more punctuations. Thank you very much.